Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going through paper 3 of June 2017, and normally I don't do this, but today I will do this. I'm going to share you the order of the questions we're going to answer. So question 1, 7, 9, 10, 11, 14 and 19, just so that if you do finish the question you can move on to the next one and then try the harder questions. I've ticked off question 1 because you can see that this is a Venn diagram question. Now, normally we would answer this question, but since it's appeared in paper 1, you can practice this in your own time. Is it likely to come up? I think not. So that's why we can jump to question 7. Okay, the exam paper is in the description. So you can click on the description and download this paper. This is question 7. I'll let you have a go at this question. Off you go. Okay, here is question 7. Let's just zoom into this a little bit better. Okay, so question 7. ABC is a right-angled triangle. ABC, we can see that. Calculate the length AB. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we've got AB. A to B is this, and we don't know what that is. So we're going to call that X. And give your correct answer to 3 significant figures. So if we think about what this topic is, this is a right-angled triangle. So right-angled triangle can be Pythagoras' theorem or trigonometry. We've got an angle here. So a right-angled triangle can be Pythagoras' theorem or trigonometry. All right, and we can see we've got an angle, so it's not Pythagoras' theorem, it's trigonometry. So step 1 of trigonometry is we need to identify the sides. Identify the sides. Okay, and then once we identify the sides, we decide which one is it. Is it sohcahtoa? Okay, and we put it in this triangle format as well. And once we've got sohcahtoa, then we decide step 3, we turn it into an equation. And then we will find our answer. So to identify the sides, we start from the right angle, and that gives us our hypotenuse. Then we go to the angle. From the angle, that gives us our opposite side. And then the last one is our adjacent. So that's how we do trigonometry. So we've got our right angle. This is our hypotenuse. Opposite the angle is our opposite side. So I've got my right angle, I've got my angle and opposite. The one left is my adjacent. So this one is adjacent. Now, if you look at it, I have no information given. So when I do my sohcahtoa, there's a shortcut. There's no adjacent, so I can cross out the A's. Cross out the A, cross out the A, which means I'm left with 1. I'm left with sine. Okay, but just to double check, I've got hypotenuse, which is 15. Hypotenuse, hypotenuse. X is the side I'm working out, which is opposite, opposite, and opposite. So 2 ticks, it must be this one. So those are 2 ways for you to identify which one we're using. So in this case, we're using SAW. So we've got sine 23 equals opposite is my x, which goes to the top, all over hypotenuse is 15. So if I turn this into my triangle, you can see x is at the top. So I need to, step 3, turn this into an equation. X equals, these two are at the bottom, so they multiply. Sine 23 times 15. Okay, so that's going to be my working out. So now I get my calculator. Make sure I'm on degree mode. So you can see from here, there's a D sign there, which is degree. So I'm going to do sine 23, close bracket, times by 15. And that gives me 5.8609 and so on. Now you may have a different calculator, which is fine. So use the way your calculator works. The question says 3 significant figures. So this is my first significant, second, and third. So I am rounding. Do I round up or down? 0 rounds down. So this becomes 5.86. So this is worth 2 marks. So let's add that to our tally. Here are the mark scheme grade boundaries for the summer 2023 exam. So that's last year, and I've banked 2 marks. Okay, I've ignored the first question, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so that was question 1. So if you've got that, well done. We're now going to move on to question 9 and then 10 if you are ahead of me. So we jump to question 9. Okay, so I'll give you a few moments to do this question. Have a go. Let's see if I can get the camera to be slightly better. There we are. Okay, here is question 9. I'll give you a few moments. Off you go. Okay, if you need more time, press pause, and then you can carry on answering the question. Let's look at question 9. Question 9, it says, the box plot shows information about the distribution of the amounts of money spent by some male students on their holidays. So we've got male students and we've got that. And then we've got a grid here. Work out the interquartile range for the amounts of money spent by these male students. So keywords are interquartile range. That is the key. So what is interquartile range? Interquartile range equals my upper quartile take away my lower quartile. Okay, so I've got that. So if I look at this, this is my minimum value. This is my maximum value. This is going to be my lower quartile. This is my upper quartile. And then this one here will be my median. Running out of space there, so I'll just put that there. All right, so I've got that there. Those are my key figures, just to make that clear. So what are my steps? So step 1 is I need to find the upper quartile. Step 2 is I find the lower quartile, and then I subtract them. Okay, so first of all, let me look at the scale. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 boxes equals 100 units. Okay, so what does one box equal to? Divide by 5, which gives me 20 units. Okay, so that's the first thing I need to do. So if I look at this, if I look closely, this is in between 100 and 200, so this is 150. If I look at my upper quartile, it's 300 and then 1.5 boxes, so this is 330. All right, okay, it may not be very clear on this camera, but that's, if you've got your downloaded copy, software copy, you'll see that. Okay, so that's my upper quartile and lower quartile. So my interquartile range is going to be 330, take away 150, which gives me 180. So that's my first question. Okay, let's go to part N. So that is worth 2 marks. Let's go to part B. Okay, so there is part B. It says on the grid above, let me just move that there. Okay, so I'll give you a few moments to try that question. And I'll also have a look at chat. If you've got any comments or questions, if I haven't explained something clearly, let me know. All right, question 9b, part B. I'll have to zoom out a little bit. It says the table below shows information about the distribution of the amounts of money spent by some female students on their holidays. So we've got money spent, smallest, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, largest. On the grid above, draw a box plot for the information in a table. So I've kind of started this already. I have to zoom out a little bit. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, so that's not enough. Zoom out a little bit more. Okay, so here we have it. We've got our smallest one is 60. So if I look at this, I've got to be, if one box is 20, so I need to be 3 boxes across. Get my ruler. So I've got 1, 2, 3 boxes. I'm just going to put 60 there just to make it clear to the examiner. Then I've got lower quartile, so it's going to be 181 box away from 200. So for this, 200 is there, just 1 box away. So that's 180. The next one is median, which is 300, so I don't really need to do anything for that one. It can just be along the line. The next one is 350, so it's in between 300 and 400. And then the last one is 650. So it's in between 600 and 700. So we've got 1, 2.5. And then all I need to do is join them together like a box plot. And I can label these numbers just to make it clear for myself and the examiner, 350 and 650. Okay, so well done if you've got that. Let's go to the next question, part C. Part C is there. You cannot see just yet, so part C is there. I'll give you a few moments to try that question. And I will put the grid there as well, because that would help us. Okay, so let's look at part C, question 9, part C. Chris says, the box plots show that the female students spent more money than the male students. Is Chris correct? So I need to look at my information. So I'm going to look at I'm going to decide what I need to look at. So there's a few things we can look at. We can look at the median. We can look at a range, a distribution like interquartile range or range. I'm just going to stick to median because that's a nice thing to measure. So I'm going to look at male students, and the median is, if I look at this closely, carefully, it's in between 200 and 300. So it's 250. So this is 250. So the male median, I'm going to put 250. And I'm going to leave some space here. This space is going to be my inequality there to compare them. Then I'm going to look at my female, which is this. Female median is this one here, 300. And if it's not clear, it's also here, 300. So female median is 300. So I've only stated what the male one is and what the female one is. I haven't compared them yet. So 250 is less than 300. So I'm going to put that sign there, my inequality sign. And I'm now comparing them. The male median, 250, is less than the female median, 300. And if I look at the context of this question, box plot shows information about the distribution of amounts of money spent. So let me add the sign, which is pounds. Okay, so I've now compared it. Now let me read the question. Chris says the box plot shows that the female students spent more money. So does this mean female students have spent more money? Male students spent less than the female, so yes, Chris is correct. Male students, £250 is less than female median, £300, which means Chris is correct. Okay, so that is my, that question is worth 5 marks, and I've banked 5 marks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks banked. Now, another thing, if I look at my revision list, box plots, if I look at the box plots, this is to do with statistics. Box plots comes up very often. So this is my key revision topic. You must practice this. Okay. Very important, you must practice this. This is very likely to come up in paper 2 or paper 3. Okay, so let's carry on with this paper. So we've done question 9. Then we're going to go to question 10 and then 11. So if you're ahead of me, go to those questions. Next question is question 10, which is nice. It's on this paper. One thing you'll notice is that my questions are very much at the beginning, it has less text, if you like, very kind of simple maths in one sense. And now all the easy ones are done. We're kind of working on the medium to hard one now, or things that take a long time. So here is question 10. I'll give you a few moments. Off you go. Okay, let's look at this question now. Question 10. Niobe invests £6,000 for 5 years. The investment gets compound interest of X% per annum. At the end of 5 years, the investment is worth £8,029.35. Work out the value of X. So what topic is this? This is clearly compound interest. So that's the topic. Now, so the key information, Niobe invests £6,000 for 5 years. Okay, so we've got that, 5 years, at an interest rate of X% per annum. And we have to work, at the end of 5 years, it's worth £8,029.35. We've got to work out the value of X. So compound interest, this is a topic that comes up every year in an exam. So this is one of those must revise topics. So it will come up in paper 2 or paper 3 if in the calculator paper. So what are my steps? So I'm going to do step 1 is to write out the formula for compound interest. Formula. And then from the formula, I'm given the answer. The investment is worth £8,000. So I'm working backwards. So step 2 is to kind of work backwards. Okay, and then at the end of the 5 years, work out the value of X. So the investment gets compound interest of 6% per annum. So step 3 is to write the percent interest per annum. I'm writing this down because I'm going backwards. It might get confusing. So what's the formula for compound interest? I usually have my initial amount, and I multiply it by a compound interest, a percentage, raised to the power, which is years or time, and then it's my final amount. Okay, so if I now put my information in, £6,000 is my initial investment, £6,000 times by my per annum, I don't know, but remember, usually this is 100% plus X%, but I don't know what it is. So for now, I'm just going to use X, and it's raised to the power 5 years, so 5 goes here, equals £8,029.35. So I've got my working forward. Now I need to kind of work backwards. So what is the opposite of multiply? It's divide. So I'm going to have x to the power 5 equals 8,029.35 divided by 6,000. Now I've got x to the power 5 here. What's the opposite of that? It's all of that square rooted, or fifth rooted. 6,000, all of that fifth rooted. Okay, so I now need to put that into my calculator, see what happens. Again, your calculator may be different to mine, so you need to know how to operate your calculator. So I've got my fifth root, and I'm going to put in here 8029.35 divided by 6,000. Whoops. Okay, 8029. I didn't put the number correctly. 8029.35 divided by 6,000 gives me 1.059. So this is a multiplier. Okay, recurring. So how do we change that to a percentage? We can just multiply that by 100. So if I multiply this by 100, that's 105.99 as a percentage. Okay, so now remember I have to take away the 100%. So I have to take away 100%. That gives me 100. Take away 100, it gives me 5.99%. So that you can round to 6%. So my final answer is 6%. Let me double check. Have I done everything correctly? Work out the value of x. Usually we put everything in 3 significant figures. So that is my final answer. Yeah. And I'm just checking the mark scheme. You can have anything between 5.99 to 6. 6% is my final answer. So where are the mark schemes? So you have process marks. So this process mark here, and this process mark here, and then your final accuracy mark here. So those are the marks that you are going to be getting. Now, something very, very important now, if we look at our topics to revise for, where is this topic? We have compound interest. Compound interest is a topic that comes up paper 2 and paper 3, so it's very likely to come up. So please make sure you practice that topic and that you have mastered this topic. Very, very important. All right, so that's another 3 marks. Let's add that to our tally. All right, so 3 marks, 1, 2, 3 marks. We've banked 10 marks. We are 1 mark away from a grade 3 and 6 marks away from a grade 4. So let's crack on to the next question. Question 11. If you're ahead of us, go to question 14. That is the plan. And you'll notice that it is getting harder. It's not as hard as you imagine, but it is getting harder. here is question 11. Have a go. Right, question 11. Jeff is choosing a shrub and a rose tree for his garden. At the garden center, there are 17 different types of shrubs and some rose trees. Jeff says there are 215 different ways to choose one shrub and one rose tree. Could Jeff be correct? You must show how you get your answer. So the first thing is, let's identify key information. Jeff is choosing a shrub and a rose tree for his garden, and the garden center, at the garden center there are 17 different types of shrubs and some rose tree. Jeff says there are 215 different ways to choose one shrub and one tree, rose tree. So the first question is, what topic is this? So this topic is combinations. Okay, combinations. Combinations, or you could say this is what's the word? Product rule. So how do I do this? Step one is I'm going to imagine doing this normally. So product rule for counting. Product rule for counting. So I'm going to do this normally. Work out normally. And it's given me, there are 215 different ways. So it's a bit like the previous question. I'm then going to work backwards. Work backwards. Okay. So if I think about it, I've got shrubs and I've got rose tree. If I multiply them together, I get my combinations, total combinations. So if I'm working backwards, I'm going to be doing 215, or if I'm working backwards, it's my total combination divided by 17, divided by one of these. To give me one of these answers, S or R. Okay, so I'm told it's 215, so I'm going to do 215 divided by 17. Let's see what that is. Calculator paper. 215 divided by 17. That gives me 12 point something. All right, I cannot have a decimal number. You cannot have a decimal. You cannot have a part of a shrub or a rose tree. So could Jeff be correct? No, Jeff is not correct. Or just simply Jeff is not correct. So that is worth another 2 marks. Let me add that to my tally. 1, 2 marks. And in terms of where I'm at, I am 5, 10, 12, 4 marks away from a grade 6. Also, if I look at the topic list, product rule for counting is very likely to come up in the exam. So this is a topic that you must be confident in. So do practice that topic. All right, let's go on to the next one. So we've done question 11. Let's go to question 14 and then 19. All right, here is question 14a. It's worth 3 marks. Have a go. Okay, question 14a. Simplify x squared take away 16 all over 2x squared take away 5x take away 12. So what topic is this? This topic is simplifying algebraic fractions. This is a topic that comes up every year in an exam, in a GCSE exam. So this didn't come up in paper 1, so it's very likely to come up in paper 2 or paper 3. So it's something that you need to be confident in answering. All right, so first of all, if we look at the top part, there are 2 terms. So what are my steps? Step 1 is I need to factorize my numerator. Factorize the numerator. And this is a 2 terms, so this is a difference of squares. Difference of squares, of 2 squares. Step 2 is I then have to factorize the denominator. Now my answer to part A will help me. So this is factorizing a hard quadratic. Factorize hard quadratic. Okay, I'll put this as hard. And then step 3 is they will cancel out. Cancel out. All right, so because there are 2 terms here, I'm going to do the square root of 16, which is 4. So I'm going to have here x plus 4, x minus 4. So that's 1 mark, that 1 method mark, which is banked. Now, because I've got this will help me to work out the answer to that. So there will be a trick. Now, you can use this, you can use a normal way of factorizing, but I'm going to use a shortcut. I'm going to show you both methods, but I'm going to show you the shortcut first. So because it's 2x, one of them has to be 2x, the other one has to be x. And then I'm going to look at the multiples of 12. So if I break this down, if I look at the multiples of 12, I've got 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Now you can see 1 and 12 here, none of that is there. 2 and 6 is not linked to 4, and so we've got 3 and 4. It must be this pair because of that. So that's a little shortcut. So we now need to decide which order is it. Is it going to be 3 here and 4 there, or 4 here and 3 here? Okay, so if we look at this, we're going to do 2x times 4. 2x times 4 equals 8x. And then we can take away 3x, because x times 3 gives us 5. So we can take away the 3x. So that gives us 5x, which is what we are looking for here. All right, so we don't need the second pair. We don't even need to put that in there. So we're quite lucky in this sense. 3 goes there, 4 goes there. The bigger number has to be negative, so minus here and plus here. And so now I can put this here. 2x plus 3, bracket x minus 4. So that's my step 2 done, and then these cancel out. So my final answer is x plus 4 all over 2x plus 3. Okay, so that is it. That's my final answer. Now this is another 3 marks banked. All right, let's go to 3 marks banked. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15. I'm 1 mark away from my grade 4. Now let me just show you. I did say we're going to use the other way of factorizing this. So if you're familiar with the other way, 2x squared minus 5x take away 12. So my step 1 is to multiply these two terms together. So 2 times 12 gives me 24. So then I look at the multiples of 24. That's my step 2. Multiples of 24 are 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 16, 24, 8, 4 times 6, 6, 12, 18, 24. 5 doesn't go in, and then we're back to 6. So we can kind of stop there. Step 3 is to look for this part here. Which ones give me a difference of 5? These two are not connected to 5. These two are not connected to 5. These two are connected to 5. These two are not connected to 5. So I'm going to be choosing this. So I can rewrite this as 2x squared. Just write this minus 5x minus 12. So this 5x splits up into these two. So you've got 2x squared minus 8. The bigger number takes the bigger sign. The other one is plus 3x minus 12. So it splits up here. Then we factorize these two parts. 2x, x, 2 goes into 8 4 times. And then because we got x minus 4 here, we're looking for x minus 4 there as well. So 3 has to be taken out. 3 also has to be taken out of 12. And it's still a plus 3. Okay, and then we got 2x plus 3. And then x minus 4. So a lot of working out. All of this is required, whereas that is not as much. So if you do get a chance to practice this method, it is a little bit quicker. So that is what I would say about that. And the key to recognizing this is, okay, this is 2x. You must have a 2x is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. So because of that, you can just put that in there and then just look at the numbers which make 12. And so you do that. So you're kind of reducing your work. If this was not a prime number, if 2x was not a prime number, then there'd be different combinations here. So this is where I'd use this method. But because it's not, that's a little shortcut. So I hope you appreciate that shortcut. All right, so let's get back into our plan. So we've done question 14. These are like the reasonable questions. The next one is question 19. And if you are here for the first time and you are enjoying these, then do subscribe to the channel. We're not actually going to question 19. There's a part B left. So part B is worth 3 marks. I'm going to give you some time to work out part B. Try that. All right, question 14b, the answer. Or question 14b, make V the subject of the formula, W equals 15 brackets T minus 2V over V. So the issue we have is we've got two V's. We've got a V at the top, V at the bottom. Now we have done a similar question before in the past, so it's exactly the same way. So step 1, I am going to bring the V's together. Bring V's together. Once I bring the v's together, there'll be some form of factorizing that we have to do. So step 2 is to factorize. And then we make v the subject. Step 3, make v the subject. Okay, so because v is at the bottom here, or let me rewrite this, w equals 15t minus 2v all over v. So because v is at the bottom, we are dividing by b. So we can just multiply. So opposite of dividing by v is timesing by v. Or the shortcut would be we just take it up across. So this becomes wv equals 15t minus 2v. Okay, now we've got brackets here, so we need to expand these brackets because we want to get to v. So wv equals 15t minus 15 times 2 is 30v. Okay, so we've got that. Now we can take this v to the other side. All right, opposite of minus is plus 30v, so this just goes to the other side. This becomes wv plus 30v equals 15t. Okay, now you can spot that I've got the v's together. I can now factorize the v, so that's my step 2. If I take v out, I'm left with w plus 30 equals 15t. And now this is multiplying. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide everything by w plus 30. So v equals 15t all over w plus 30. So that is worth 3 marks. Okay, so let's have a look at our topics. Rearranging formula was not on paper 1. So rearranging formula does come up, but I cannot guarantee that this will come up. So this is something you need to practice, this topic. Let's add our 3 more marks to this. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 18. And we are now, we've banked a grade 4. Okay, we've gone over 16 marks. We've banked our grade 4. This is paper 3 we're looking at, June 2017, paper 3. What else was I going to do or say? I've lost my trail of thought. I think that's it, really. Okay, so looking at chat, I hope I've answered your question. The next question is kind of going towards question 19. Those are the kind of straightforward questions that I've identified. So once we do these straightforward questions, then we can go back to the beginning of the paper and start going through some of the harder questions or some of the questions that take a little bit longer to do. So this is worth 3 marks. Question 19. I'll give you a few moments. Have a go. Off you go. Actually, before you do that, I just wanted to show you something. If you're here for the first time, something on the channel, I keep forgetting about this. So if you're here for the first time, if you go to live, all of the papers are here that I've done live in our live session. In addition to that, if you go to playlists, you can see I've I'm creating playlists. So summer 2023, if you click on that, I've covered paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. So obviously, paper 1 is gone, so go through paper 2 and paper 3. In addition to that, if you look at some of the playlists, so here we have higher paper 3, summer 2018. If you click on that, you will see it's broken down by questions. So you got question 1A, 1B, all the way down to, so far I've covered up to question 8. But if you click on each link, and it tells you how long each clip is, so you can see the kind of easier questions and the harder questions. So some questions are taking 55 seconds, whereas some of the others are taking like 7 minutes. So clearly, based on your time, you can revise on that, as well as based on questions. You can see if a paper 1 topic is there, you can just ignore it and move on to the next one. If you click on this, each video,
Question 1. The scatter diagram shows.
What you will see is within the description, there are practice questions and answers there for you to do. So you can download the paper and do that. And it's not on all of the videos, but on some of them. I want to show you something else. So here's another one, predictive. This was from last year, I think. If I show you on some of the videos, you'll see that they also have, not this one, but they also have practice questions for you to do, like other exam questions. I know I am going up and down a bit. There must be one here that I've seen. Yeah, so for example, here is a topic. If you look at this, there are practice questions within the description. So you got 1, 2, 3 other practice questions on the same topic. So everything is there for you to practice, as well as questions and answers. So that's a little feature. Everything is all in one place. So if you're here for the first time and you haven't really seen the information on the channel, it's all in one place. All right, let's get back to this question. I'll give you a few seconds. I can see your question. The answer to your question is yes. Off you go. I'll give you a few moments. All right, so this question is solve 2x squared plus 3x take away 2 is bigger than 0. So this is clearly factorizing harder quadratics. Now this is very likely to come up in the exam. If I look at my topic list again, we've got factorizing here. Solving quadratic inequalities. So this is a quadratic inequality. So it has come up for the last 2 years. So it's very likely to come up. All right, so how do we solve this? So first of all, I want to, step 1 is to factorize the quadratic. Factorize. It's a hard quadratic. So I'm going to factorize that. So again, because it's 2x, it's going to have 2x like that. And then I'm going to look for the number terms. So pairs of number term. And then after I do that, I am going to see which one matches to get x term. And then after I've done that, I'm also going to draw a matches the x term, and then I will put it into my brackets. Step 2 is I have to sketch a diagram. And using the sketch, step 3, I'll find my solution. Using sketch, write solutions. Okay, so if I look at this, so I did this, we've done this question previously, but I've just broken it down into steps. So because we've got 2x squared rather, 2 is a prime number, we're going to have this, so we can use the shortcut. Look at the number term. 2 is just 1 times 2, so that's nice. 1 can go here, 2 can go there, or the other way around. So I'm looking to make 3x. I'm looking to make 3x. So if I do 2 times 2 equals 4, then I can take away the 1x to give me 3. So it is this pair. If I do the other one, so this is 1 and this is 2. If I did it the other way, just to show you it doesn't work, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 times 1 is 2. And then I will have 2 times 1 is 2. and then I've got 2 times 2 there, which is 4. Sorry, 2 times 2 here, so it can't get me to 3. That's what I'm trying to say. So this doesn't get me to 3. All right, so let's carry on with this. So you got a negative here and a positive there. So the bigger number will take the sign. So 2 will take the sign. So plus 2 and then minus 1 there. Now, as a check, expand these brackets. As a check, just expand them. 2x minus 1x plus 2. 2x squared plus 4x minus 1x minus 2. 2x squared, 4 take away 1 is 3, so that's plus 3x minus 2. So this matches my inequality there, so you can see that. All right, so this is my quadratic. Okay, so that's my quadratic. So I've done my factorize the hard quadratic. I now need to sketch this diagram. So this diagram, or actually I haven't solved this just yet. So let me say that 2x minus 1 equals to 0. And I'm going to say x plus 2 equals to 0 using these. So this goes to the other side. So 2x equals to 1. Opposite of minus 1 is plus 1. And then I need to remove the 2. So x equals to 1 over 2. Opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. So x equals to minus 2 here. So I've got 2 solutions here. So I'm going to sketch this graph now. Sketch this. One of them is going to be half. And this is going to be minus 2. Now this is a positive quadratic. So it's going to go through these 2 points. So I've done my sketch. Now using the sketch, I write the solution. Which part is bigger than 0? So you can see it's this part is bigger than 0 and this part is bigger than 0. So this is x is greater than a half, or x is less than minus 2. And that is my final answer. All right, so 3 marks there. Okay, so that is my final answer there. All right, so we are nearing, so let me add this to our tally. 3 marks there. 1, 2, 3. So we have now banked 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 marks. We are 6 marks away from a question, grade 5. We did skip a few questions because Venn diagrams came up in paper 1, so we didn't practice paper 1. I will have to do another session, part 2 for this paper. If you have enjoyed this session, make a comment. I plan to do a lesson every day at 8 p.m. inshallah. So join in. If you found this useful video useful, share it with your friends. So we'll continue every day until your paper 2 and your paper 3 exam, inshallah. So any other comments in chat before we end the session? All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. See you at the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.